Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
22 years, he has terrorized this town. Tonight, it ends.
We need to stop this mother.
We need a plan of attack.
We have to get these people out of town.
How can he still be alive?
This is Officer Williams. Our night isn't over yet.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to pick up immediately following Halloween 1 and the fan film we just saw, You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, and we're moving right into Halloween 2, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasence, Charles Cyphers, Lance Guest, and Dick Warlock. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, we're going to keep going today. We just got done taking a look at the fan film, You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, from Dark Crown Films, and that perfectly leads us right into Halloween 2. And our movie takes place on October 31st, 1978, when Michael Myers is shot by his psychiatrist, Dr. Sam Loomis, and falls off of a balcony. He survives and escapes into the night, and while wandering the alleys, he steals a kitchen knife from an elderly couple and kills the teenage girl next door. Meanwhile, Laurie Strode, who narrowly avoided being killed that evening, is taken to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, while Loomis continues his pursuit of Michael, accompanied by Sheriff Lee Brackett. Now, Loomis mistakes costumed teenager Ben Tramer for Michael, which results in Ben being hit by a police car and burning to death. Upon learning that his daughter, Annie, has been killed by Michael, Sheriff Brackett blames Dr. Loomis and abandons the search, leaving Deputy Gary Hunt to take his place. Meanwhile, at the hospital, paramedic Jimmy develops an attraction to Lori, but head nurse Virginia Alves limits the amount of time that he can spend with her. After hearing a news broadcast revealing Lori's location, Michael makes his way to the hospital, where he cuts the phone lines and disables the cars. Now, while wandering the halls in search of Lori, Michael kills the security guard, the doctor, and several nurses throughout the night. In her hospital room, Lori dreams about the time that she learned she was adopted and remembers that she once visited a young Michael at the sanitarium. Jimmy and nurse Jill Franco begin to search the hospital for Lori, who is trying to evade Michael. Jimmy finds the body of nurse Alvis before slipping in a pool of her blood and knocking himself unconscious, giving himself a concussion. Meanwhile, the police are informed that Michael broke into the local elementary school earlier that day, and Loomis rides with them to investigate. Dr. Loomis's colleague, Marion Chambers, arrives on the scene to escort him back to Smith's Grove on the governor's orders and under the enforcement of a U.S. Marshal. On the way, Marion informs Dr. Loomis that Lori is Michael's younger sister. She was put up for adoption after the death of Michael's parents, with the records sealed to protect the family. Realizing that Michael is after Lori and being told that she was brought to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, Loomis forces the marshal at gunpoint to drive back to Haddonfield. Jill finally finds Lori, only to be killed by Michael, who then pursues Lori through the hospital. She manages to escape the parking lot and hides in a car. Jimmy soon arrives and tries to drive the car to safety, but passes out again on the horn, alerting Michael. Loomis shoots Michael until he falls down, seemingly dead. Now, while Marion calls the police, the marshal tries to check Michael's pulse as Loomis warns him to stay away, knowing that he isn't dead. Michael then reawakens and slits the marshal's throat with a scalpel. Loomis and Lori run into an operating room where he gives her the marshal's gun before being stabbed by Michael. Lori shoots Michael in both eyes, blinding him. As he swings around the space violently, the two fill the room with flammable gas. Loomis orders Lori to get out before igniting the gas, immolating himself and Michael in an explosion. Lori watches as Michael, engulfed in flames, emerges from the fire before finally collapsing. The next morning, Lori is transferred to another hospital, traumatized but alive, as our movie comes to its end. I enjoy Halloween 2. This movie, I feel, is almost as good as the original. Not quite a 5-star, but almost as good as the original. And I really hate that they continually retcon this movie because of the fact that they make Lori and Michael siblings. In my personal opinion, why is Michael so obsessed to this person if they're not related, if there's no kind of connection? And we get some of that explained in part 6, which we'll get to down the road there. But I hate the fact that they retconned this, because here we are now, 40-something years later. Michael Myers is still chasing Laurie Strode, but they're not related now. And again, we'll get into that when we get to the 2018 Halloween, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. But why are you so obsessed with this chick for 40 years if there's no connection? That's my thing. That's what I hate about them retconning this movie. I think it's a good movie. Is it as good as the original? No, of course not. Are there the people that complain about it taking place in a hospital and Laurie is KO'd for most of the movie? Yeah, absolutely. And their points are valid which is why it's not as good as the original. But at the same time, you pick up pretty much immediately where the first movie let off. And you keep following that timeline throughout the evening. Even with You Can't Kill the Boogeyman thrown in there as that little 30-minute buffer between the first and the second one, which, if you watched that review earlier this afternoon, the only really thing of note to come out of that is the setup of the Ben Tramer character. And You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, you see Ben Tramer, who was mentioned in the original Halloween as being set up to have a date to the dance with Laurie, get a Michael Myers mask, but with blonde hair instead of brown hair. You see all that and You Can't Kill the Boogeyman. And then in this movie, the police see what they think is Michael, but it's actually Ben Tramer wearing that mask, gets hit with the police car, set on fire, and dies. So now you understand how Ben Tramer got that mask in the first place. And if you didn't see my review of You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, I'll go ahead and link it up here, even though it just aired a half hour ago, so you can understand what I'm talking about. But I feel like this is a great sequel. And it's one of the things that I like about the Halloween sequels in general, is that they pick up pretty much immediately where the last movie left off. And they give you that kind of old Hollywood serial type of feel, where the first few minutes is the tail end of the previous movie. Kind of like, this is what you missed, or this is what happened in case you don't remember. And then, bam, we move right into the development of the new story. I enjoy that for this. I think Halloween 2, 1981 is thoroughly underrated, and I really enjoy it. When it comes to my rating for the original Halloween Part 2, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I love the way the story picks up immediately following the original movie. And even with the You Can't Kill the Boogeyman buffer thrown in there, it still picks up immediately following that. I enjoyed the development of the Laurie Strode character. I like the fact that Laurie and Michael are siblings. I like the Jimmy character, played by Lance Guest, who would go on to be in The Last Starfighter, which was directed by Nick Castle, who played the original Michael Myers. Kind of all in the family right there. But there's so much to enjoy about this film. I hate the fact that it gets retconned. What do you guys think of Halloween 2? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. But let's have that conversation, that discussion, that interaction, that debate in the comments below. You know I enjoy talking to you guys and interacting with you. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we're going to take a look a little bit outside of the timeline at Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the one Halloween film that does not feature Michael Myers. Starring Tom Atkins, Stacey Nelkin, Dan O'Hirely, Michael Curry, Ralph Straight, Jadine Barber, Nancy Kyes, Dick Warlock, and Jamie Lee Curtis. And then, immediately following that, at the top of the half hour, will be another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews as we discuss the season finale of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, episode entitled Whose Show Is This?, starring Tatiana Maslany, Jamila Jamel, Ginger Gonzaga, Josh Segarra, Marklyn Baker, Mark Ruffalo, Tim Roth, Benedict Wong, John Bass, Charlie Cox, and Will Dusner. You're not going to want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, right here on all new episodes of Renegades Review. Another 2 episodes tomorrow. Make sure you tune in and you join us for that content. To all my fans and viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you're alerted anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, and pay-per-view PLE coverage. Make sure you share this video with your family, friends, loved ones, movie fanatics, co-workers, cinephiles, anybody who you know who enjoys horror films, John Carpenter films, the Halloween franchise, Jamie Lee Curtis films, etc. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized, make some money on these endeavors. Thank you once again to all of you who joined me and tuned in today. It means more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.